What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is me still trading the phase 2 of my good funded trader evaluation account. Guys, as you all know, first and second week of November almost made me blew my evaluation account, and this is how I survived. This week was the most emotional week trading this evaluation account, and you will find out why. And I have a big news for you. In this video, I'm going to uncover weekly review, the trades I took, psychology battle, turning point of the week, lessons learned, account status and the big news, and finally the reflection. Guys, you don't want to miss this one. See you in the main video after the intro. Bye. Welcome back, guys. This is week 3 of the month of November, actually the third week of November. This month is almost coming to an end, and my only goal this week was to make profit, because coming from $300 in profit into the month of November and crashing back down to $85 in profit is a huge blow. So the only goal I had is to make profit so that I can bridge the gap between my current account and my target, and that was the only goal I had this coming into this week, and I worked towards it. So the account status coming into this week was $85 in profit. You know, from $300 we came down to $85 in profit. Guys, that means the equity is currently sitting at $8,085 coming into this week. So that was the account balance, and that means the remaining target is 5%. I have 5% to complete the account, or to complete the challenge, which I do not necessarily need to make the 5%. All I need is to bridge the gap between the current status, which is the equity, and the overall target, which is 6%. So to make profit is my goal. Guys, for the drawdown, I must be sincere, I have been doing great job. I've been doing excellent in managing my risk. The drawdown, both the daily drawdown and the overall drawdown, I have not had any issue with that. I always put that into consideration entering into a new week. So everything about the drawdown is always intact, and I must congratulate myself for being disciplined in managing my drawdown. So the expectation this week was to make profit, not necessarily passing the account, just make profit, so that the consistency and the confidence will be there. So, and this week I made profit. That was a very nice trade that I took, actually 2 trades, and I made profit on those trades, and I'm going to review those trades with you. So follow me to my screen. So guys, this week the catalyst for the good trades I took, I think, is the JPY. So I did analysis on the JXY, which is the Japanese yen currency index, and I noticed something, right? If you look closely to my screen, you will see this inversion fair value gap here, and you can see how price closed below it. Before this closure, it was a fair value gap that we expect price to move up from there, but once the candle closed, which is the October candle, you can see that we violated and disrespected that fair value gap. So to me, this automatically becomes an inversion fair value gap. What I expect from here is that we tap into it and continue moving lower. So the narrative is already there that I'm expecting lower prices on JXY, because JXY has been very bearish for quite some time now, and as you can see, we are moving down, and I have also identified my target, which is this swing low and this swing low. So once we close below this fair value gap, I only need to look for a good POI or PD array where I can use to anticipate bearish prices, and this inversion fair value gap happens to play a very pivotal role. And if you go down to the weekly time frame, you can see that we close below that, and you can see that the other candles, that the previous candles are also showing respect to that fair value gap. You can see we went into it and we are dropping. So here my intention was just to sell the Japanese yen, but I also need to look for stronger pairs that I can pair it with, so that I will have that currency pair. So I've been looking forward to buying the US dollar, but because of the economic lockdown they are having in the United States, I've not been able to do so. But this was a very good opportunity, because I looked at the dollar index before that time. I can see that we're actually dropping lower into this weekly fair value gap here. Let me go up. Into this weekly fair value gap here. You can see how we respected that, and I knew that price was going to move higher from there, and I decided to pair the dollar and the yen. So I came up with a very good idea to use the US dollar and Japanese yen, which is USD JPY. That was actually the second trade I took. So I'm going to also go give you the ideas on how I took the first trade, which is CAD JPY. So I already knew that I should be buying USD JPY. So I just had to look for a very good entry, right? So what I saw was, you see this indecision candle here, this indecision candle. I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom so that you can see it. So you see this indecision candle here. Nonsense drawing, don't mind my drawing. So this indecision candle here, you can see what we did. We took out liquidity and we closed up. So me looking at this, I knew if price is sweeping this low and respecting it, definitely we are going to continue higher. So I was looking for higher prices. So what I need to do is to go down to the 4-hour time frame where I will take my entry, and I was looking for, remember this was the sweep that we had, and I was looking for a fair value gap that I will take my entry from, but there was no fair value gap here. But this is what I did. I went back to the US dollar. On the US dollar, this is what I saw. Can you see this fair value gap? This fair value gap was not present at the time I took the trade on USD JPY, but because I've seen this fair value gap and how price is treating it, I decided to take a trade on USD JPY. So you see the idea and the narrative, right? I took the trade using the DSY as a confirmation. So let's go back to USD JPY. So when that fair value gap formed, the USD JPY was around here. Yes, forget about this fair value gap. You see, this fair value gap was not there when I took the trade. It was later that we created that fair value gap, and I used that as additional confirmation that we are going to move up. So I took the trade and price started to run. My target was above here. Actually, the first time it was a very ambitious trade. My target was here, and I took the trade and it was running in profit. So this was the idea behind the first trade I took. So the second trade I took was the CAD JPY. The reason why I took this trade, the previous video, in my previous video, I made mention that I took a trade on CAD JPY, but that trade stopped me out. This was where I took that trade. Here we went into profit. No, somewhere here we went into profit and came down. So I did not want to lose the trade because we had a fair value gap here. I closed that in break even. So, and you can see how we dropped down into that fair value gap. And I told you guys in those videos that I'm going to also look for another opportunity to trade the CAD JPY. So to trade it, I already knew that JPY is very bearish. So I need to look for a good area that I can take a good setup. So I looked at this fair value gap here. We have tested it multiple times before we respected this. And look at this candle. You know, this candle that dropped into this fair value gap is what we call institutional order flow entry drill, ICT. So we did institutional order flow entry drill on this fair value gap, and you can see the reaction afterwards. This candle went very aggressively, and you can see that we closed above this bearish candle here, which is what we call what? Change in the state of delivery, additional confirmation. So when I saw this and I saw that price was aggressively pushing into this fair value gap, actually, before it turned to inversion fair value gap, I knew that price was going to go up. So what I did is, once we start to push with this candle, I took this position here and I put my stop loss here, and I targeted. This was about 3 hour trade, and you can see how beautiful it was delivered. So this was the 2 trades I took this week. Very beautiful setup, but the beauty of this trade started from the preparation and pair selection. A good trade always starts from pair selection. So for you to have a good trade, you must first of all select good pairs to trade, and this is why I use the currency indices to make analysis. From there I can select which index is going to perform poorly or perform strongly every week. So with that, I can be able to make adjustments and choose currency pairs that I'm going to merge and trade. So these are the trades I took. So let me take you to the journal to show you how I journaled. So guys, welcome. This is my trading journal. So if you look, you can see the first trade I took, which is CAD JPY. Let me go ahead and open the trade. So CAD JPY, the buyers as usual bullish, and these are the screenshots. The first screenshot, you can see how we mitigated that fair value gap, and you can see we closed with this candle within this bearish candle. So I knew that the next candle was just going to be a continuation. So this is the 4-hour time frame, still the same continuation. And this is when we hit take profit on this trade. Sweet setup. So the 4-hour time frame, I took this trade on the 17th. I think this trade was about 3 days. On Monday, and I held till Wednesday. I closed the trade. The 4-hour time frame, inversion fair value gap, and during the New York session. And you can see it was a winning trade, $188 profit, and I followed my rules. So for the second trade was still on the 17th, which is USD JPY. So this is the screenshot. You can see the screenshot of the trade. This is daily time frame actually. The other screenshots when we were already moving into profits, and the last screenshot when we hit take profit on this trade. So this trade was taken on the 17th on the 4-hour time frame during the New York Q zone, and it was a winning trade, and I made about $209 on this one. So these are the trades I took and the journal. Guys, to be honest, when I dropped from $300 profit to $85, I started to feel somehow, because you know, being in $300 profit in phase 2 of your evaluation and down to $85, you feel somehow. That is why we are human. You start to see that psychological battle, the emotional battle, everything just starts to pile up on you. That is where you have revenge trading instincts start to come, because you have lost so much money, you need to make so much money. Then you start to even take trades that you're not supposed to take, trades that does not align with your rules. You start to take them because you just want to cover up for the losses you have taken. And this is where we start to get it wrong. When you start to do most of these things, revenge trading, your psychology is totally messed up, and you start to trade out of emotion. And before you know it, that is why the statistics shows that people that fail phase 2, they are numerous. It is easier for you to pass phase 1. Then when you come to phase 2, these are the things that make you to fail, because when you now feel that, okay, this is phase 2 and I need to pass, and you take some good trades and you actually make profit, then later you take losses and you come down, then you start to feel that, oh, I need to make up this money, then pass the account. Then you start to force trade, revenge trade, then you start to do things out of your rules. And also, overconfidence also is what makes us fail phase 2, because when you take series of good trades and you feel that, okay, because you have taken good trade, every trade is going to be good also, it doesn't work like that. You can take 10 losing trades, and the next one, which is the 11th one, will also be a losing trade. Nothing is guaranteed. And you can take 10 winning trades, and the 11th one will be a losing trade or a winning trade. Nothing is guaranteed. So when you have this mentality of you are entitled to winning, then you start to get it wrong. That is where overconfidence kills traders, because when you're overconfident, the market always finds a way to humble you. The market always finds a way to humble you. Sometimes overconfidence is good. It makes you to enforce your rule. But if you go out of the boundary, then the consequences are always severe. All of these things put together make us to fail phase 2. And another thing is doubt after losses. Imagine when you take 3 losses in a row, then the 4th one is even an A+ setup. Will you still have that confidence to take that 4th setup? Everything is in line. The trade criteria, everything is in place. All you need to do is to place the buy or sell button. But because you have taken 3 trades that are losers, will you still have that mindset of believing in your system and taking that trade? This is where we hesitate. Then you hesitate and you doubt the trade and you end up not taking the trade, then later the trade end up hitting that take profit. This is not entirely our fault. We are humans, so our mindset is built to survive. So because your mindset don't want to expose you to that risk of you have taken trade, losing trade, the fourth one might be a loser. So your mind is trying to defend that action from happening. That is why when people say psychology this, psychology that, you do this, you do that, sometimes they work, but not the way they portray it. They work, but not up to the extent. There's no how you can eliminate emotion from trading. Emotion is part of what makes us a human. We cannot entirely deal with that. And when you put all of this pressure together, then you start to see this emotional fatigue. Then pressure. Thank God we don't even have a time limit anymore, because that time limit was also what made people fail evaluation. And thank God all the pro firm have eliminated or taken out time limit. Time limit puts so much pressure on traders because you have a time that you need to make so amount of money, and if you don't make it, then you have to either reset or you fail the challenge, and you start to overtrade, revenge trade, taking multiple position, then using full margin to trade, and before you know it, you blow your account. So the psychology and emotional battle of trading is very, very real, and this is what we need to take into consideration when we are trading. What are the things we really need to do to make sure we don't come in contact with this kind of scenario where you doubt your setup, where you have this overconfidence that the next trade is going to be a winning trade? If you remove that mind of being entitled to winning trade, then you start to see trade in the real sense and what it is actually is, where you can take series of winning trade and the next one will be loser, or where you can take series of losing trade and the next one will be winner. So psychology or psychological battle in trading is very, very real, and this is what actually shapes you as a trader, not the technical. The technical, you can take 2 weeks to learn technical, but the psychological aspect, trying to build up that mentality and discipline in trading, is what makes you a good trader. So guys, for this week I did actually encounter some psychological challenges and emotional challenges, especially when I had the 2 trades running, and at the first instance they were not actually like moving, and I started to think, what if I lose the 2 trades? I know if I lose the 2, I'm not going to breach my account, but it will just keep up piling the stress on me. So I was thinking that way, but the turning point actually came on Tuesday when price started to move. Guys, the way it was moving, even up to Wednesday, volatility was into the market, and I think because of the US lockdown that was lifted, and we were expecting the non-farm payroll on Thursday, so there was so much volatility. The way price was moving, and I was in line with the direction. Oh, that was a turning point for the week, and I was seeing the growth, and I knew that those trades were going to be a good trade for me. So this week, the lessons I learned this week is, no matter what, always believe in your system. Always believe in your system. The first week and the second week of November was actually bad weeks for me because I took a couple of losses, and coming from $300 to $80 was actually not something that you want to see in your equity. I did not give up. I had that character, and I was going to pass the account and I was going to make profit, and I did make profit. I believed in my system. Even though I took some losses, I still maintained the same system, the same rule, discipline, and I did not actually revenge. Although the first and the second week of November, I actually took more trades, but this week, the third week, I managed to take only 2 trades, which I tried to limit the number of trades I engage this week, and I took only 2 trades and I managed them properly. So the lessons is always believe in your system. Even though you are taking losses, believe in your system and always reflect. Even if you take losses, go back and reflect why you took those losses. It might not be actually the system, but you, because the obstacle in forex trading is you trying to fight you. The inner you is the problem. That is the obstacle, because the inner you always fight the outer you. So you need to always control the inner you from making some decisions for you. And I also learned that discipline is one of the key to success in forex. If you are disciplined and you put everything all together, then you start to see yourself aligning with the top one, the top one in the top one. So, and I was actually disciplined. I must say that trading this account, I was very, very disciplined, even though I took so many losses. Remember, phase 1, I started with losses, multiple losses, and I went back and I reviewed everything, and I came back and I smashed phase 1. Phase 2, I started with good trades. I took a couple of good winning trades, and I took series of losing trades, but I didn't give up. Discipline. I was disciplined to also follow my rule, and I made profit. So guys, the account status is actually, we are actually sitting at $8,485. You know what? We smashed phase 2. We smashed phase 2. Guys, we are funded. I cannot believe I am finally funded. Guys, this is the big news, guys. I am funded. I am funded. I'm going to leave the email from Gold Funded Trader, and I'm also going to leave the certificate somewhere here so you guys will see. Oh, after coming down to $85 from $300, I finally completed the challenge. Those 2 trades I made about $400 and something, and I completed the challenge. I'm very, very happy and elated. After so many years, guys, it is looking real. Like, the way I have structured my trading makes me believe so much in the things that bring us, the things that lure us into trading the first time. Now it is looking real. All I need is to perfect it, and by God's grace, I'm going to perfect it. So thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for tuning and sharing in this documentary. Without you, I wouldn't have passed the account, because I know you will hold me accountable. That is why I try to be disciplined, maintain the psychology and emotion, and here I have passed the account. I must appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. I am very proud that I followed my rules and I respected the market also. And I was challenged by what to see online, other people making it. If they can make it, we also can make it. So the market does not just favor particular people. Once you align properly with the market, it will also favor you, and that is what I'm trying to do, to align with the market so that the market will also favor me. So even though this week was nearly emotionally draining, I am happy that I have completed the challenge, and I closed this week with 6% in profit, which is the target for the phase 2, and I've passed. And I've also received the document and I've logged in, though I have not taken any trade. So hopefully this week I will be able to take a trade, and I pray it will be a nice trade. The challenge is not over until we make our first cash out or payout. So guys, if you are also in a problem journey or problem challenge, I want to know your improvement, what you are struggling with, in the comment section. Let us relate. This is a community where we'll come together to share experience. If there are things that will help you with, if there are things I need to tell you, then you can also leave that in the comment section. Guys, I made a video about things that can actually affect your trading during the NFP. You find the link up here. So guys, go and watch it. It might be the video that will give you that aha moment you are looking for in trading. So if you are in a Forex, if you are in a profit journey, please let me know where you are currently at in your progress, and let us relate together. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please make sure you subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. See you next week. Bye.